Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gashi's Kaiman TV. I want to start this video by posing a very simple question to you, our viewers. And the question is very, very simple. There has been a notion that if Raila Odinga was to withdraw his support from the broad-based government, that the government of William Samoei Ruto would collapse. Do you agree that if Raila Odinga stopped supporting William Samoei Ruto's government, the government would come down crumbling like a house of cards? Maybe you can put your comment in the comment section. Mutahi Gunyi is one person who has been selling this narrative that if Raila was to withdraw from the government, the ministers, the so-called expert, were to withdraw from William Samoei Ruto's government, that the government would collapse and we were not going to have the 2027 general elections. That is Mutahi Gunyi. And why do you think he's saying that? Your guess is as good as mine. In this video, I want us to show you, I want us to discuss the reason why the government of William Samoei Ruto cannot collapse even if Raila and ODM withdraw from the broad-based government. Number one, I want to start by reminding you that Raila did it through, is it ULDP, NDP, National Development Party. He had a National Development Party in 2002. He withdrew his support. He led a huge number of people, politicians, Akina Kamodho, Akina Kalonzo, many of them left Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, and what was left was a shell of Kano. But the government did not collapse. Or what happened is that Mudavadi was appointed, I think for 1 month, as the Vice President of the Republic of Kenya, the shortest serving leader in such a senior position. In fact, many Kenyans do not even know that, especially the youth, they don't know that Mudavadi was once Vice President of the Republic of Kenya. So the government did not collapse. And we went ahead with the elections. And 2002 elections are said to be the most transparent and peaceful election that have ever been held in this country. And Kibaki swept into State House. And the rest is history. Again, Kibaki now took over. My point is that the government cannot collapse because Raila is going to withdraw. Raila literally withdrew his troops in 2005 through LDP, because there was NAC by LDP and NAC Kenya by Mwai Kibaki, Charity Giro and Wamalwa. Because they could not agree, Raila led his troop to vote against the Wako draft, the constitutional draft that was fronted by Mwai Kibaki. Uhuru opposed, Ruto opposed, and the rest is history, because that is how ODM was formed. But the government did not collapse. In fact, Kibaki fired everybody. He fired Raila Odinga. He fired everyone. And he left just one man, Mudi Awori. And the government did not collapse. In fact, everybody thought that the government was going to collapse. It did not collapse. And the same thing would be repeated. History is a very good teacher. So I differ completely with those people who are saying that the government can collapse because Raila Odinga are always going to withdraw his troops. It is not the case. The other thing is that William Samoei Ruto would still remain with the political machinery. The instrument of power will be with him. The instrument of violence will still be with him. How is the government going to collapse when the judiciary is working? How is the government going to collapse when parliament is working? How is the government going to collapse when the civil service is working? Because even if Raila Amolo Odinga withdraw his troops, what is going to happen is that there are those who are going to remain with William Samoei Ruto, and there are many. There are many. The other reason why I strongly believe that this cannot happen is because of the power of money. William Samoei Ruto is a multi-billionaire. He's very rich, very rich. And never underestimate the power of money in this country. The power of money. Money speaks in this country. If you look at a number of headlines, you realize that there is a lot of bribery, a lot of corruption going on in the National Assembly. The committees are bribed. I think third edition is very clear on it. The latest third edition is very clear. I think it's a headline. How MPs are bribed in parliament. They vote with their stomachs. They don't vote with their ideologies. They don't actually represent the voters. They don't oversight the executive. They don't oversight anybody. They don't make laws that do not fit them. They just get handouts. So because the government has money, how is Parliament going to vote to pass a vote of no confidence? In fact, Kenya should forget that this Parliament can impeach William Samoei Ruto. It can't impeach William Samoei Ruto because of the power of money. The other thing is, election is too near. We have less than 2 years to go to the elections. Next year, it will be full campaign. In fact, campaigns have started. When the elections are so near, I think people do not see the needs for even passing a vote of no confidence. They just leave. They just let things continue the way they are continuing. Wamevumilia miaka minne, sebuse miezi kadhaa. Because you see, Raila Amolo Odinga is planning to exit the government before 2027. I think hapo karibu June 2026, before December 2027, Raila is most likely going to exit his troop because of the unpopularity of his move. Remember, this government has done a lot of harm politically to Raila Amolo Odinga, truth be told. The thing is that William Samoei Ruto is still the commander of the armed forces, all armed forces. And one thing about our armed forces, one thing about the security apparatus in this country, the policemen, the army, the what, they support the government that is in office. They are apolitical. They are not aligned to anybody. That's the beauty of our army. That's the beauty of our armed forces. So as long as they support the person who was elected in office, who is legally in office, nothing can happen in this country. And that is the truth of the matter. The other thing is that most likely the political jackals are likely to unite. When I talk of political jackals, I mean these guys who have been in office, these guys who have been in power, these guys who have been in government, they have been ministers, they have been cabinet secretaries, they have been principal secretaries, they have been presidents, they have been vice presidents. They are going to regroup to protect their wealth. And once they regroup to protect their wealth, mtafanya nini? Mtadu. This government is going to last all the way to 2027. That is the truth of the matter. But in 2027, William Samoei Ruto will be voted out in the morning. So the withdrawal of Raila Amolo Odinga from the broad-based government is neither here nor there. Again, the other thing is about Kenyans. One thing I know about Kenyans love peace. Kenyans love peace and tranquility. They don't want to go the Somali way. They don't want to go what Uganda went through. You know, whatever the case, Kenyans will always unite. Kenyans will always protect their country. And even if Raila Amolo Odinga, Raila Amolo Odinga, by the way, can withdraw, thinking that the government is going to collapse. It is going to have an impact. I don't deny that. It will have an impact, but the government will not collapse. What will happen? It will be very, very difficult for government to pass some legislations. But for example, what happens if they don't approve the budget? Do you think they can deny themselves salaries? Do you think they can deny themselves salaries? Because if they don't pass the budget, they will not get salaries. Last but not least, is that when I look at our country, I see hope. The fact that there is hope, this light at the end of the tunnel, that hope, that optimism. You know, Kenyans once were said to be the most optimistic people on the planet Earth. And that optimism is still there. Kenyans believe that the good days are ahead of us. The good days are coming. And this one is likely to start in 2027. So, what do you think, ladies and gentlemen? That is my take. Have a blessed day. And please like the video, comment, share, join and become a member. And for those of you who support the channel, we are truly, truly grateful. Bye-bye.